Hey everybody, we have some shows that we wanted to tell you about in case you want to see us live and in person. Our improv group known as Problem Child, we're 3/5 of us are here right now. We're going to have a show at Cafe Kerouac on September 28th. It's the Something Sketchy show. And we're also going to be in a show all together on September 30th. That's part of Gresso's meetup that we've shouted out before. Heather, do you have any shows that you have coming up?
I am super excited. I have a show at the Columbus Funny Bone September 13th starting at 7:30 with Big Baby from Wild 'N Out. Super excited. Hope to see you guys there.
And then our guest, who we haven't quite introduced yet, but Jay, do you have any shows?
I do have some shows coming up. So if you are a former theater kid like me and you want to see a short mini play festival, Company Theater Reset is hosting 8 plays over 3 days, September 22nd to the 24th at 929 Harrison Ave. And then if improv and stand-up is more your steez, I'm with Black Friday, one of the POC improv groups in Columbus, September 29th, I believe. So yeah, come check that out. And then everything I have with Problem Child and Illuminati.
Yeah, Illuminati. Speaking of Illuminati, Hot Fuss 3 is coming to Upfront Performance Space on October 20th. We will all be in that show. And thinking way ahead here, November 3rd, Cheaper Than Therapy, our show is coming back also at Upfront Performance Space. So you can find links to tickets for all of those things on our social media pages, which will be linked below.
Below.
Buy the tickets.
Buy them. Come support us.
Please.
We'll talk to you in the parking lot. Nicely.
Ticket, please.
We will say kind words.
Affirmations.
I like your face already.
Did you want to just do a topic for a cold open or just flash a picture of your feet in there? Like subliminal?
Only when we start a Patreon. It'll be like when they used to flash like Coke in the middle of movies in the theater.
What?
And
I think they probably still do that. Yeah, like you would go to a movie theater and they would play like a millisecond of like a
Coke?
No, like Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
the drink, the beverage.
Oh,
Oh, that's where her mind went again, of course.
They were like,
Coke? Where?
they're like, do Coke in the
Please?
bathroom.
And you're like, where?
Hello?
Where? Okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's my like core mental illness that I have.
OCD.
That
You
leads
never told me you had a OCD.
That leads to all the rest of them. Why do you think I'm so like organized? Like things need to be very like.
I like how you're like, Heather, you may have OCD, but not, you don't have my OCD. Like, you don't have the
my
OG OCD.
Your OCD pales in comparison to mine.
Basically, I just have intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, I mean that's a big one.
That's like me trying to compare myself to anyone else with BPD. Like, not quite. Yeah.
Like you like microdose BPD.
Microdose BPD.
I
yeah.
feel
Masked BPD.
Well, you're doing a great job. Masking it.
We can barely tell.
Validation.
That was fucked up.
I'm fooling them all.
We can barely tell.
It was a little bit fucked up.
Can barely tell. Oh, you don't say. Okay.
And we're back. Welcome to Comedic Behavior Therapy. I'm Heather Scott.
I'm Tristan Shae, and we have a special guest with us here today.
I'm Jaclyn Hughes, or Jay for short. Hit me. You're welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for being here, Jay.
Thank you.
The long, arduous road that is
Yes.
film production.
I've been I've been excited to be on here, and I'm glad with my fellow problem children.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Problem child. If
I did that backwards.
Did what backwards?
I was trying to do this, but I pieced out with one hand and flicked them off with the other hand.
Oh,
Peace and
Or shaka.
peace.
it's like a mixed
shaka?
messages thing. It's like
Yeah, like,
Peace be upon you, and also fuck
You're
your mom.
welcome, but watch yourself. Let's all go to the movie.
yeah.
do you see it?
They don't do that anymore. But those little characters, I had a thing. It was like a poster when I was still in film school. It had all those little characters on it, and it was like in my apartment
That's fun.
to make it look more like a movie theater.
God, you're such a nerd.
Yeah.
And we love that about you.
Yep.
I find it annoying, but yeah.
I also got a my roommate really likes Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm steamroll right over it. But I got him like a life-size cutout of Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was like a Christmas decoration.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was like I got like this cheap, shitty Christmas tree that was like $20 from Walmart, and it was like the same height as the
That's hysterical.
Star-Lord thing.
I can't really hate on it because I also do like Guardians of the Galaxy quite a bit.
Yeah.
I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think I've seen the rest.
You didn't like the third one?
It was a little more. It's about like a Rocket Raccoon.
Okay.
His origin story.
Well, I have to watch that one.
It's just a little too sad for me. I mean, it was still really funny at points, but it was like so much more like down. It was so much more of a downer than you expected.
Yeah, but I think that's what I liked about it is like the tone.
Oh, you're like, I liked how depressing it was.
I like how I get to break this down.
On a little baby raccoon. I liked it.
I just wanted to like feel something when I went into the theater, you know? I was too numb.
You know those days when you're just like,
Christ, why are you guys more depressed
like,
than me? I used to be super depressed, but you guys make me feel depressed. You guys make me feel like I'm like a ray of sunshine compared to you sometimes.
You feel like a ray of sunshine?
Sometimes.
Genuinely? All right.
Compared to
what is that like?
Delusion,
depressing
folks.
shit. Michaela is a ray of sunshine. Like being around her, I would microdose Michaela's energy all day. Like when we went to her apartment, I was like, how can this feel so nice?
She has a nice apartment.
She does.
The only thing that threw me off is she doesn't have a TV in the living room, but that's your choice. That's her.
That's probably contributes to not being depressed.
Oh yeah.
She just
constant sensory input.
Shit on her laptop, like most people do now. Like what?
Do they?
I just watch it on my phone.
Yeah.
Or play games.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stupid phone games.
Do you have a TV?
I do have a TV. I can't afford a TV. Yes.
No, because like we didn't have a TV for like 2 years. So we didn't.
I had a TV that like a family friend gave me, but then I had to move a bunch of stuff because people were doing work in my apartment, and I tried to move it back, and it like fell, and then there was like a big black line like in the middle of the TV, so I had to get a new one. So,
yeah, we got like an old monitor, and then it was like attached to my boyfriend's office thing, but now we got that, like last year, like that. Like, we didn't have like a TV for like years. We kind of just watched stuff on our laptop because.
Yeah.
You can't experience like the full experience of watching something though on like a computer screen.
Said like a true film nerd.
Exactly.
That's not the right aspect ratio to fully ingest the material.
Do I rag on you too much? I feel like sometimes I do.
You rag on me like a normal amount, I think, for most friendships.
You're just a ragger.
You rag on me like probably about like the average bully amount.
I don't deny. Like I think I counteract my bullying by roasting myself. Like I feel like my haircut currently looks like the lady from The Sound of Music, and I do look like I could probably be like some sort of.
But like she's cute though.
I
I've made so many jokes about me being like a raccoon outside of like a Kendrick Lamar concert or whatever. That's real self-deprecation. Get on my level.
Oh, you're like Heather. You're just comparing yourself to like a very pretty woman, and
to a global superstar.
And I'm a raccoon.
Sometimes I like look at myself in the mirrar and I'm like, you Julie Andrews looking bitch.
I was gonna say that. I didn't
how dare you?
Wow, I like self-affirm myself. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not roasting. That's an affirmation.
No, I also think I look like Luke Skywalker with his haircut. That's
like Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Also not an insult though. Also not an insult.
He's a pretty man.
No, I mean, like I look like a man. That's the joke.
And what's wrong with that? Gender expression can be whatever you want it to be. You don't have to look as the queer in the room, as the they them. I have to speak up for my people.
Stop!
Why was your response just to scream stop?
Like someone the other day was like, I was reading the comments and somebody was talking about like something about a fox. Not a raccoon. It was like something about a fox, and then a comment was like, I identify as foxkin, so I agree with this person's perspective. And you're like, okay, that's great. You can be a fox, but
well, it's funny. I was about to say furries are people too, but like, are they people?
Furries
aren't they like
anthropomorphized animals too?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic, yeah.
That's
anthropomorphic.
Furries are
just imagine like an animal with just
too.
a human dick. That's what it is. It's just an animal with a human dick.
Sure.
That's what a furry
That feels
is.
a bit like reductionistic.
I'm sure that somebody.
Have you seen furry porn? It's just an animal body Or like they have like the torso and whatever, and they're just covered in fur, and they just have a human dick. It doesn't. There's no animal looking dicks. I just see it, and it's just like animal dick. And
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just gonna call attention to how Tristan and I made eye contact. I'm just gonna.
Haven't you watched furry porn? And I'm like, I have not.
We were both like, is she really talking about this?
I used to be on Tumblr.
I have some furry friends. I do.
Have you ever been on Tumblr?
I have massive compersion for what you choose to do. I just don't have that gumption.
I don't have the gumption to wear the suit.
I just
like, how do you wear it?
I'm claustrophobic. Okay, I'm not even gonna wear like those gimp masks. Freak me out. I'm not gonna do that ever. Blindfold me.
Yeah,
That's
no.
as much as I do.
I you know what I would admit, I sweat a lot as a person.
Same.
So I couldn't imagine put it on like a polyester or something or other.
You just like take
and
off the head,
slanging it out, and they have to wear the hat, and you have to wear all that like the helmet or like the mask to make it authentic.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought about that because like mascots.
You always thought about.
Well, when I think about furries, this is what I think about. There's like mascots. Like I don't know if you've ever been around a mascot, but they smell so bad.
It's because they're sweating like hell in there.
Because they sweat so bad.
They don't wash the uniform. They don't wash the.
Yeah.
There's no dry cleaner for
one time
fursuits.
I was at Easter Bunny, like in Florida. I sweated my ass. People, like little kids, were crying when they saw me. It was disturbing.
That wasn't
like
just because of the sweat though.
The
Kids
swamp
are
ass they must get. It was crazy.
Could you imagine if my sister used to be scared of mascots, but could you imagine like someone's ultimate goal? They're like, okay, I really have to get over my fear of mascots. So they become a mascot? Furry?
Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Oh my god, get me out!
A furry is like when they're like, I'm so wet. They're like, I know.
It's just like sweat.
I am too.
I'm sorry, did I offend you?
No, you didn't offend me.
Okay.
I don't remember what would have been offending, but no.
Why you yelled stop for like 2 minutes?
Yes, no, that was funny. Stop! Please. Stop! How much are we going to talk about this shit?
Oh, I don't care. I
You're
mean,
queer, we get it. I'm on the other side of that too. Like, I've talked about it to death. I can ease up. So when it does happen.
I think there's like this phenomenon when you like first come out and you're young, like you.
I am this. You must
I
affirm
am gay.
me.
I am gay.
I have to do that a couple times with
And
me
you're
changing my name. Like, I am Jaclyn, and you will address me with these pronouns.
Yeah, it's like you're like it's like all the and they're all usually super liberal and super like SJW, which like there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like they're in your face about it, and you're like, we get it. There's problems in the world, but also I want to go eat my taco. But like the point is that like. But like they like their identity is just being gay for like 2 years or something, and then whatever after their first homosexual relationship, and after that you're like, oh, okay,
Right. Like
it's just an aspect of yourself. Sorry.
Right. I understand it to an extent because you're like trying to like figure yourself out, and the way to figure things out is through talking about it. So if you like are always confrontational about being gay or being vegan or being, you know, whatever, then yeah, that's a way to get your like thoughts out about it and like go back and like we look at our jokes is go back and think about, okay, maybe I can cut this out the next time I talk about it, you know?
Yeah, it's
They're writing material.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
they're
I'm
writing
saying is
material.
like it's just like I used to be like
That vegan teacher.
I was a vegan teacher. I was vegan. I was open bisexual, and I was like, well, I became whatever. I was like a vegetarian, and I was like bisexual, and I had all these opinions, and people would say like racist jokes. I'm like, you can't say that. I literally was like, and then like I was a bit. I mean, I was such a bitch. I had blue hair.
Nice.
So I think like the underlying point then that you're making is like, what are people beyond like one piece of their identity? Like it's one piece.
Yeah, I'm saying it's because especially if it's like a repressed part of your identity, and then they go, bah, I'm gay. You're like, we get it. You were repressed. Your family didn't accept you. Blah blah blah.
You grew up in the church.
Hey,
Great.
listen, we all have. I love coming out stories where they're like their parents love them no matter what. I mean,
Good for
I didn't
you.
get that necessarily.
I wonder what that's like.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Basically, like my coming out story wasn't like the best, but it also wasn't the worst I've ever heard. You know, I wasn't disowned. I was just like shuffled to the side because they're like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
We pretended it didn't happen. So
I knew when I like grew up in the church, and then I was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. I was super like anti for a minute. Like I would make a lot of like shithead jokes about stuff, but yeah, now I'm just like, all right, you can be what you want to be, believe in who you want to believe in. Like, great.
I definitely had that too. When you grow up religious, you're like, there's so much there's like so much like homophobic and like against other groups too. Like so much of it just like floating around that like as a kid it takes a while to like unpack all of that and be like, well, maybe we shouldn't say things like that.
yeah,
Right.
And
You get around new people,
this is
learn new lenses of how to look at shit.
All right. So when we have guests on this podcast, one of the things we like to talk about is influences, especially if it's like a comic, like comedy influences, comedy styles, things like that. So who do you think are kind of like, or what, or when, or who, or how?
Okay.
What happened to make you so funny?
How influenced you?
How influenced
How
me?
influenced is you?
I was how influenced by, like, I don't know, I've always like been kind of a theater kid vibe. I grew up on stuff like Saturday Night Live, and to this day one of my favorite people is Conan O'Brien. So yeah, there's a lot of like wackiness, and obviously like Mad TV. I grew up in the era of like SNL with like Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry and stuff, a touch of like Tracy Morgan there, and yeah. So yeah, and then like just building up like me myself as a person came with a lot of like research into like other ways of being. So somebody called me eclectic once, and I won't disagree. Because I'm queer. I do identify as queer, and some part of that in my like gender expression is people have said multiple times that I look like a different person every time they see me. So that tracks.
I think that's all like kind of like the SNL and like Mad TV and like being a theater kid. It's like I think you're like
Being
always
queer
doing
and
character exploration.
Yeah. Being a whole lot of different and stuff. And yeah, like you just gotta get in where you fit in. You know, I was a solid emo kid for a solid couple years in high school, and I just caught myself at a Sad Boys last week or whatever. But yeah, like I've talked Heather to death about Erykah Badu at this point, so I won't bring that facet of my identity up too much.
Yeah. Yeah, those are all influences that make sense. I love when people share like they're like this influenced me, and I'm like, I can see it. Like I can see the improv, the sketch, like all of that. Like definitely you have like, I feel like you have more Mad TV vibes though than SNL vibes.
I feel like like that kind of like maybe that shock factor.
Yeah.
That like
the overshare factor.
Guess what?
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? But it's like always like it's like it's like funny.
Are eating my brain.
It's like immediately you're like, haha, and then you think about it for a second, you're like, oh shit. It's like, but I like that though. It's like, it makes me think harder and use my brain. But I want to like what I like to know is like, how did you get started? So like, did you start doing stand-up? Did you start doing improv?
I started doing improv first because when I moved out on my own for the first time, I Googled like acting classes in Columbus, and the improv meetup came up, and it was free. So hey, great. And then 5 years later, a lot of stuff. So yeah, and then I've only been doing stand up for like not even a year at this point. I think it was back in like March, April, when these guys dragged me to a stand up open mic, and I was like, okay. And then
Consensual forcing.
Consensual.
Consensual.
Yes. Yeah, and I did do the work to do it, but I just like read my whole thing off my phone like a speech, and the flow was just not there, and then I had to like sit back and like be okay, wait, how do you do it? Like, how do you guys do it? And then I was like, I'm already like a theater kid, like I have a play coming up, so I already know how to like look at and memorize lines and stuff, so that's like a lot of, and then like blocking the like how you stand while you're saying what or whatever, like yeah, like you gotta present it as best as you say it. So that's something that I have to like work in.
Yeah, I think it's very much like doing stand-up comedy is very much like being in like a play, because like you said, blocking, I mean like literally rehearsing movements you do on stage while you're telling a story. It's basically like doing a soliloquy. You're just like trying to make people monologue, trying to get people to laugh. Because I started like blocking. I literally started writing like, and now you hump the stage here, and then I was just like, So I think that's a very good comparison.
Like I have a joke about like how people don't know how to talk to you when you're built different, right? And there was a guy that like came up to me and like asked me to, if we can get graphic explicit. He asked me how it would feel to get one of these, and so having to like be on point in terms of like if I have the microphone in hand, like if he wanted a lefty loosey righty tighty type thing. So yeah, you gotta figure out how to sell that. So yeah,
that's still a really good joke. I love that joke.
Such a good joke. But I've loved watching that process, because like it was like consensual forcing you to do open mic for the first time, and then like we've gotten to watch like doing all these shows together with like Hot Fuss and things like that, like watching people grow who like I feel like we've taken like a vested interest in is like that's like one of my favorite parts of comedy.
Now that I think about it, I think everyone literally like in our group, Jay, Peter, Michaela, we forced Jay to do stand-up, we forced Peter to do stand-up, and then we forced Michaela to do improv.
Yep. I
need to be responsible for your growth for this. Wow, I need to be responsible for this stage in your growth.
Yeah, I literally told Michaela, I'm like, you need to come to improv practice, and she literally was like,
and
why?
I'm the one who dragged Peter convinced Peter to join this group. So yeah, it was
it's just been a lot of like. There's a benevolent kind of coercion. I like to think that that's what we've done.
Benevolent coercion.
Yeah.
I mean, like
band name.
Basically, just benevolent coercion. That's a good name. But basically, that should be our new name. No. But I mean, like it's just like you just basically gas somebody up so much. Hey, you should really try. You're so good. You're this. You're so funny. You're so good.
We really want you to see what happens.
I don't want to do it. You're like, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're getting on stage right now. I signed you up, and they're like, what? We didn't actually do that.
No.
It's a we've talked about it before with I think we talked about it with Barack when he was on here, but the difference between improv and stand up and how the improv community is very supportive of each other, and I think that's what it's come from is like all of us coming from the improv background.
Yes.
Even in the world of stand up, we're kind of more like how can we help this person be the funniest version of themselves? And that's kind of I don't see that just in a scene, I see that with whatever their like goals are. It's like what are your goals with comedy and how can we help each other achieve those?
Because I think improv is probably a good, like, backbone or foundation for stand-up. Because especially if you're, like, I'm the type of person who, like, writes out my bits. Like, I'm, like, sending it, like, online or something. So if I, like, memorize it as best as I can, but I can't remember the transition, then I'm able to, like, cobble up together, like, a quickie. Like, here's this. So
I just want to let you know that Jay has sent walls and walls of text. Be like, can you guys read my joke?
I'm a novelist.
And it's like walls upon walls of text, and I'm like reading it, and they'll be like, what do you think? No, like in a good way. Like, okay, what do you think? And then like, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. I'm like, I was like trying to read it, and I'm like, I can't even, and like 5 hours later, I'm like, what? Is the complexity? Like, it, like, you're so intellectual, sometimes I don't get your jokes. You're just like, oh.
Jay likes big words.
Jay likes big words. I know not.
Like, I don't, like, because, like, it's not like I'm looking at you guys, like, on a pedestal type of thing, but you guys have already, like, done this. You already know, like, the ropes and stuff. So I'm like, hey, can you look at my set and tell me how the thing at Cafe Kerouac went? Because I think I did good, but I need specific validation. Well. Confirm me, please. I want to be with you guys, and I want to be good please. I'm trying.
I cannot believe that, like, in this situation where, like, the cool kids are, like, the ones, like, can I please hang out with you guys, please? I'm just like, bro, I feel like I'm just, like, still a dumbass.
I'm just an eternal puppy dog, and, like, I get perplexed when people try to puppy dog me. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's how I feel currently. You don't feel like we're some sort of experts.
Like, no. Heather's got her shit, don't get me wrong, but I still want to know what she has to say.
What? You're saying Heather's still shit, but I still want to hear what she has to say.
Got your shit. Like, got your shit.
Well, that's the idea behind...
Everybody's got their shit, you know?
That's the idea behind Problem Child, is that we all kind of do comedy for some kind of reason that's like, we have something that messed us up, and that's why we did comedy.
We're all habitual oversharers.
Right. So, and we've all, like, trauma bonded to the point where it's like, we just want to see... And I think that's why we have such, like... support for each other.
If
is that
everyone's like oversharing, isn't it just called sharing?
I was like, didn't you say that?
No, they said that.
Said that.
Call back.
No, that's why I laughed. Yeah, group text be popping.
Yeah, but we all have connected over things like that to where it's like we've shared stuff that's like behind the scenes that obviously like we wouldn't talk about here, but it's like we know where we've come from and we know like where we want to go, and it's it's a group of people where what.
Where'd you come from? Where'd you go?
Where'd you come from?
I said that to myself, but I like how you said it.
Yes. Now I'm kind of like derailed. Yeah, we're all a bit Cotton Eye Joe, you know, in our own way.
Oh my God.
We're all Cotton Eye Joe.
And where did he come from?
Where did he go?
Where did he go? Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye.
If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe,
I wouldn't know where to go.
Married a long time ago.
You were married a long time ago?
I was married a long time ago.
Yeah. That's funny.
Actually, we the show that we have coming up, the Cheaper Than Therapy show, is a day after my 5th anniversary.
Nice. Oh, my anniversary is the 12th
of November.
Yeah,
it's also my mom's birthday.
Oh, hey. Hi, Mrs. Fortner. Kidding.
I don't think she listens to
I know. I'm just. I just. Oh,
that's
you gotta edit that out. Never mind.
No.
Oh. Try to use our fake names.
Where can we go back to?
Kanai Joe.
We're talking about our
Improv. Okay. Oh yeah. I wanted to point out that like how it's interesting is that we are kind of like we've all been doing comedy like the versions like you've been doing improv for like 5 years. Peter did improv for kind of like 2 or 3 years. Michaela had just started, and we had just started improv, and Michaela had just started doing comedy. By like how like we're all kind of came together as a group, and now we're all kind of like doing like new things kind of like together. Like we all
have our like perspectives that we bring to our material.
Yeah, like we're all fairly new to stand-up comedy.
These guys even let me like put on a play that I wrote and like really like shit the bed on the night before we were supposed to present it. So I'm really grateful to these guys.
No, that was my bad because I couldn't remember my lines, and then I literally like I think I tripped on stage. I don't even know.
I got tripped up because we just like wrote it out like, okay, this would be good here, this is and then let's do that, and then and then my like theater like do things right brain said make an actual script with the blocking and everything, and like, hey guys, don't freak out, but here's all of this, like,
I don't think any of the rest of us had the theater experience, so we were like
but I believe in you. I was pep talking them. I believe in you. We can do this. Just I didn't edit any lines. Just
I really didn't even like. I tried. I want to let you know. I actually did really try to memorize the lines, but then like I literally just saw them all staring at me, and I think I literally like tripped like from the back to the front of the stage. So I was like,
you did.
Oh,
you physically tripped.
I like. Yeah, thank you. I like tripped off stage. I've been tripping on and off stage like at least twice now.
My theater experience prior to doing that was a kindergarten play where I played a rooster, and I did this whole musical number about like everybody had to get up in the morning, and like they like basically the play was that like all the animals resented the rooster, but then like when they basically like kicked the roosters off the farm, then they like couldn't get up and do their work, so then they brought the roosters back. Like it was.
It's a metaphor for gentrification.
I feel like it's a metaphor for
gentrification.
Most of your relationships. Be like, yeah, I mean, I like Tristan, but he can be real. You know, he'll be like, get up, let's do the thing, and I'll be like, I want to still not like you.
It was basically, my entire life has kind of been like that, where I'm like, cock-a-doodle-doo, let's wake up, like,
not right now,
let's get it done, and they're like, you just fucking let us.
I just want to color.
Basically, that's how I feel. I'm like, I just want to hang out and chill, and everyone's like, Heather, you actually need to be productive and use your intellect. I was like, me known.
We have a sketch show coming up. I have written sketches before. Let me take the lead on this. We have to do it this way. I mean, you guys can do it your idiosyncratic ways. I don't want to shutter your creativity, but...
No, but I said that the other day. I don't know, that wasn't in the group chat. That was just to you, where I was talking about, like, the strengths that everybody has in Problem Child, and I was like...
he like when he listed everyone's strengths, he's like, Heather, you're just there. I was like, fuck.
No, I didn't. No, I said,
okay, good.
I said that Jay can write.
Compliment Jay.
I was like, Jay's writing is like
amazing,
top tier.
Amazing.
Like the writing ability is great, and then I was like, Peter has like Peter and I are usually on like the same wavelength of like trying to make something as awkward as we possibly can.
Oh,
you saw that.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought because like you and Peter are always on the same wavelength. I'm like, I guess.
No, like
I was watching them hang out the other day at the birthday, and you guys were acting like brothers. It was so cute.
Yeah,
that was kind of hilarious.
He's a brother from another mother. But what I said about you and Micah was that you're both. No, I do. Like I don't know, but you both have like a spontaneity that I don't really like have. Like you will both kind of just go like take it in like a completely different direction that I was like I would have never thought of that, and kind of even in how you approach comedy in general, because that's kind of what I was like saying is that like Jay's really intellectual and writes things and like plans it out. Like Peter and I just want to like try to figure out what's the next awkward thing that can happen, and you both like you could do like street interviews or something, or like crowd work. I can't do crowd work like either of you can.
You're very good at like thinking your jokes through to a very like single degree where they're like the callbacks are very good, and like your
buttons are
like,
on point.
Like this is like this joke is then leading into this joke more, and it's like a smooth transitional story, and like your punchlines are so well thought out.
I will say I'm technical. And
your delivery, when your delivery is on point, like I would say your delivery, like if you're following a set, is like top tier. I would say your delivery is very well. I think my delivery is like I'm just rambling and I say and dicks, and everyone's like, oh, dicks. like you're very like delivery spot on usually.
Well, thank you. Yeah. We all just, we're just gassing
up.
each other up. For like
Am
an
I
hour.
affirming you? Can you buy me a soda now?
Yeah. I'll buy you some Coke.
I like
A
Coke.
cola. Yeah.
A cola.
I like Coke. A cola.
That's definitely what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
A dried cola.
Dried cola.
Sorry, my
Dehydrated
nose.
cola.
I'm sorry, my nose is just itchy.
Oh wow.
Man, don't you wish that we lived in the 1800s when it was the original recipe? No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard
boy.
the flavor was.
All
good
of those
back then.
tinctures.
It was a
at
flavor.
The apothecary, man. Really get you zooted.
Yeah.
Set you right.
Can you imagine being in like the 1800s and you're like right up on like your like bicycle with like the big front wheel and you're like, one Coca-Cola, please, and it just gets you like super high.
You just
That's probably why they were able to
zooming
build
down
all
the
the
street,
train
like-
tracks.
Yeah. They were just they were like, here, free Coca-Cola for everybody, and they're just like, this is great. They're like, I want more. I'd never want to stop drinking this. I don't know why. It's like I can't stop.
What's the worst I can get? Diabetes. This is great.
I didn't even know if they even knew what diabetes was back then.
In the 1800s, I
I
don't know.
think they
imagine
did. I
transition
think
for
they knew what it
Coca-Cola
was.
was like for Four Loko. How they just took the energy drink out of it because everybody was like
Yep.
way too.
I told you guys my Four
Insane.
Loko story. I actually told you a bridge version of the Coke, the Four Loko story.
Is
Get
it
into
time
it.
for Crazy Story with Heather?
No.
Oh, okay. Can't tell the Four Loko
No.
story. So diabetes was
Yep.
discovered in the 1800s because it says that it's thought to have been described in the Ebers Papyrus, which was circa 1550 BC.
That says the 5th or 6th century.
Yeah, but that's Ayurvedic physicians in the 5th or 6th century BC.
Yeah, I mean they knew that they actually would like taste the pee.
First
and
noted the sweet taste of diabetic.
Yeah, they would taste the pee and it because they realized it smelled sweet, so then they knew you had like
Yeah.
diabetes.
A comedian has a joke about how that's how his girlfriend found out because he was like she was blowing him and he was like it tastes a little too sweet. You might want to get that checked out.
And that's
Yep.
why it is
Ew.
diabetes.
Patrice O'Neill, I think. Rest in peace, King. But
Rest in
yeah,
peace.
diabetes is a trip. I have that. It's fun.
What a lead in. That was
Just be like, and now I have
That's my
it.
whole plan to admit that I have diabetes.
You should write a joke about how like
Admit that I have diabetes.
no. Wait, you said that was a joke somebody already wrote? I was gonna say like somebody be like, yeah, she tastes too sweet. But it's really you'd be like, yeah, and it's my diabetes.
I think a joke about
Pineapple? Nope, diabetes.
No, I mean that's why, yeah.
a joke about coming out as diabetic would be kind of funny.
I was diabetic.
You're like, yeah.
I have a joke about like coming out as passive aggressive.
That's a good one.
Being outed as passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Maybe you should like write a
Oh my
whole
God.
joke about like how they found like the needles under your like in your bathroom, and that they were like you were like bleeding all the time. And like, what's going on, Jay? What's going on?
They're like, what are these?
What are these? And you're like you're like yeah.
They're my lancets, okay?
You're like yeah. You're like yeah. You're
I
right.
have blood sugar issues.
You're like.
This is more of
diabetic.
a sketch than a stand-up.
And that's the thing that was like I think that actually happened. There was actually like literally a live video of where like this kid found like a teenager found another teenager's like needle set for like their diabetes test. And you're like, oh
not-
my god, Sharon
Why
has
don't we-
needles.
why don't
And
we
then,
do
like,
that?
And then Sharon was like, and then the kid was like, Sharon has diabetes. He goes, what drugs? It was like something that I need to find it.
We need to do that.
I don't have
okay.
needles. I have just like
was-
Ozempic and like lancets that I stick myself with every now and then.
Yeah.
To feel something.
I had friends with diabetes growing up, and they had kind of had like the little like pokey things and stuff, but like they found it, and they're like, she does drugs. They're like, she has diabetes. He goes, so, and he said something like so crazy. I need to find it.
When
Wait, we're doing the sketch.
well, yeah, we were gonna do a sketch. I was gonna do a sketch where like you be a teenager and you have diabetes.
Okay.
Do you want to? Do you feel comfortable with
Let's do
that?
it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see how. Okay.
Hey, Tanya, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, Chuck. What's up?
Okay. So we found something in the bathroom, and we want to know what's.
We know these are yours, Tanya. We found them next to your cocoa butter.
Yeah. Well, I need those for personal reasons, but it's like not a big deal.
Is this why you've been hanging out with those kids after school? Is this what you do?
No, I just do it before I go to school, so
Before
I can.
you
Oh
go,
my
you start
God!
your day with that.
I just need to. I will need to keep myself regulated. Okay, like I can't
Regulated.
Regulate.
pass
can't
out
even-
in the
Oh
middle
my
of class
God.
You can't even function normally without shooting up first thing in the morning.
unless I sneak a donut or something to like jolt me up.
It makes you
know?
overeat.
It
What
makes you
kind of drugs are you doing?
Drugs. That's my insulin. I thought you guys knew that.
Insulin, is that what they're calling it now? Is that what they're
Insulin.
calling it? In my day,
That's
we
what
called
they've
it
been calling it. Heroin. Oh my god, you guys. I just smoked weed outside of a Coke
You
can with my
weed.
No, no.
out of a Gatorade bottle with Christy because she's cool and I wanted to, but
we
that's
couldn't.
something completely different.
We couldn't.
If I don't do this,
Christy.
I'll pass out. And
You're grounded.
passing out for having diabetes? I don't understand you guys. You guys won't let me be me.
I'm gonna keep
figuring myself out.
these needles to keep you safe.
But how else am I gonna? Those pills don't do much. I just need to do that every couple hours or so.
Every couple hours.
I am so. Oh, I'm checking her into.
We
a
need
clinic.
to check you in somewhere.
A clinic, fine, so they can get me to someone who knows, to good parents, to some people who know. Oh my god, you're gonna take away my lancets and my blood monitor too?
Yeah, we of course, as your parents, we would never know that you would have a condition. We would know.
We don't know.
I'm a very independent child. I had to do this
insulin?
as soon as I figured out that something was wrong.
We would never know our child has a medical condition.
I had to figure out why soda tastes bad to me now, and that's why.
You don't like soda? She's not my daughter anymore.
And see.
Sorry.
The idea that parents would be like, we have no idea that you have this insulin.
I'm just biking to the doctor's office by myself.
That's
At
hysterical.
14.
It's like denying denying all medical issues. I think diabetes would be the worst. My kid doesn't have
She's
ADHD.
faking it.
But oh my god. Oh
Faking
lord.
diabetes. Yeah.
Did we go too deep?
No.
No, that's funny. That's funny.
No, it's funny. I feel like I think I got a little out of hand.
I was trying to decide if my character was on work trips. I was like, why was I not there? Why did
I like how you're mentally trying to
You
figure
just found out that you have a daughter.
You're like, why would my daughter do drugs?
Is she mine? No.
There might be a question about that, yeah.
She's yours. She's 100%.
You guys didn't pull an Angelina Jolie. This is just a surprise.
She's yours. I told you.
She mentioned the cocoa butter, so she knows something.
She has a condition.
She has a condition. It's called being diabetes.
Being diabetes.
I told you because of her diabetes. That's why she has curly hair.
Does insulin-
That's why she gets it from my mom's family.
I wish that I had thought of
She
that
gets it from
during
my
the bit.
mom's side.
I would have been
This is why she's not because
You have completely recessive genes.
because
all of her.
I told you my coworker, he's just a friend.
Just a friend.
Brandon is
Yeah,
just
DeAndre is just a friend.
Brandon's just been my close, deep emotional partner for how old are you? 17 years.
17 years, yeah.
Because
Brandon from accounting.
He took her to get fufu and ugusi for the first time, and she loved it. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
That's food for white people.
I was pretending I knew what it was.
I was like, oh, is that a type of
Nigerian food.
African dish?
Apparently, there's a very contentious argument between Nigeria and Ghana about which country's jollof rice is best. I don't know why I feel compelled to bring up that state of cultural events, but yeah, that's a thing, and I get to pay
like
attention to
Nigerian
it
food.
because I'm.
There was
African.
Tune into our next episode where we try these recipes. We give
Can I tell a
white
story?
person's opinion.
Ooh, why is it spicy?
My first time to an African restaurant, I was going with a white person, and I love this man. I appreciate your space in the community while you were here. It was great, but he took me to an Ethiopian restaurant, and that's the kind of place where you tend to eat with your hands. There's a pancake style bread called injera where you pile the food on and you eat it through whatever. And he just asked me hey, do you want to go to the spot? And I was like, sure. And then we get there, and I start piling things onto my plate, and he immediately has this and then I'm eating, and he's like, oh, if I knew, I wouldn't have said it. I would have not brought you here.
God.
I'm so sorry. And I'm like, dude, if I thought I couldn't handle it, I would have taken it. I would have said something, but it's great. But yeah.
Oh, wow.
He thought your limb difference made you less.
I was like, oh.
Do you want me to do it for you? Here, let me feed you.
Oh my god, that makes
I love you. I miss you. If you watch this, it's great. But yeah,
pretty funny.
completely platonically, but yeah.
And now that I think about it, the way you described how they eat it, there was a vegan Nigerian restaurant next to when I went to college, and I went there a few times. It's called the Vegan Nile, and they had this really two things of flatbread, and I cut them up and I ate them.
You cut them up.
I didn't put.
Do you have any syrup?
I didn't put. I didn't put the food in the bread. I ate it separately. I was like, oh, this bread's really good and spongy. And then I even took my boyfriend with me, and we both cut up the bread.
Okay,
we both did because we didn't know I now I'm sitting here like, hey, I was like, and this was this was almost 4 years ago.
Like, did you try the crepes?
I know. I was like, because I was like,
do you have any strawberry jam?
I remember him even distinctly asking me. He goes, "Why they give us so much bread?" Like, I'm not even kidding.
The fact that he asked too is even funnier.
Yeah,
He's like, why did they give us so much bread? I'm like, I don't know. Just cut it up and ate it.
My culture shock was, I mentioned like fufu. Like egusi is a soup, and fufu is like this, like, it's pounded. Yeah, it's basically like mashed potato, and it's like in a ball. And you gotta like pinch some off of it and like scoop the soup with it and whatever. And I had some like spinach and kale soup with goat meat, and it was great. But I quit. I gave up on the fufu soon enough because it was just so, like, I couldn't figure out how to like get the great soup to fufu ratio. So it's like, okay, I'm sorry, ancestors, I have to work it out.
I want to go try this food now.
Shae.
Have you seen? There's like a.
I did take Ramshackle to that same Somalian spot once, and yeah, they had a good time.
I would try it. I feel like we should.
I literally was like, do you guys want to go after this?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Go get some. Have you seen that TikTok where it's like a like straight up white boy who like throws it up in the air and catches it and he like scoops it and everything, and then the like audio is like, I won't be out African again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So there's this show, Bob Hart's Abishola. So it's the guy from Mike and Molly and a Nigerian actress, and it's like just a sitcom about, quirky white boy meets uptight Nigerian nurse and whatever. And like there's literally,
I see clips of that show. It looks amazing. Wait, what's it called again?
Bob Hart's Abishola. If you were saying it.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it and it looks hilarious. I just never know like where I can find it. Where can you watch it?
Paramount Plus, I think, or if you have a Roku, just search it through there. But yeah, it's full of a lot of like, culture shocky things. Like Bob was like really proud of himself. That make a ball, you scoop it, and you dip it. I know my shit. But yeah, it's a really cute show, and I've learned a little bit about my culture through there as well. Like 23andMe says I'm 33% Nigerian. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay, is it really weird for me to say is that I just love Nigerian accents?
No, accents, I think accents. I do have an affinity for accents. I'm a character actor because I have too many voices in my head. So I do.
Yeah.
Find Nigerian accent.
I think it's.
We are here on a podcast.
I think they are like so funny, especially when they just start going like, I'm not going to do the accent.
Mio.
I'm not going to do the accent. I really want to, but I'm not going to.
Mio, like, this white girl is driving me crazy.
I love this. This is what I find hysterical. They're just like so serious. They're just like, not today.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I find that.
I think that's hysterical.
Using accents to connect with like a past, like your like whatever like heritage that you have. Like for me it's like. Wait, what?
Is that why you do your like? What's your character from the sketch? That Gary voice.
Yep. So my crazy ass white family. That's like Gary. I'm like, rah. That's.
You're not from New York.
No, he's not. He doesn't have a New York.
He sounds
accent.
like he's a New Yorker to me.
No, I was gonna say like my version of using a Nigerian accent is using like an Appalachian accent.
Okay,
that wasn't Appalachian.
Peter's Appalachian voice is so great. His Virginia voice.
Yeah.
Well, boy, howdy, I don't know what to do here.
Oh my god! I would just have to do like a Scottish accent. Hey, how you doing there, lassie?
Or I can do my old like sassy black woman voice by Miss Claretha.
Yeah.
Like, you chilling, but watch yourselves. I don't want y'all around here doing all that mess with your pants sagging on the ground. Y'all ain't upholding our nature at all. You got these white people out here thinking we crazy, which we are, but they are too. Just they are smart enough to go with therapy about it. Oops.
Cheaper than therapy, November 3rd.
Cheaper than therapy, yeah. Always be plugging.
What a good plug.
Did you have the ice in your veins November 3rd with that one?
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Did I would it be bad that I still tell you still don't know what the fuck that means? Basically, I know it means like the ice in my veins means like you're hard, like doesn't mean like you're a cold one.
Yeah.
I mean, like that mean like does that mean like you're a hard motherfucker or something? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I was like my sister would do that. She'd go like bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, what are you
that was
doing?
Another gentrified
I was like, she goes, this is for drugs, doing drugs together.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
That too. I mean, that's like injecting the badass motherfuckerness into your veins or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know. She's white.
Badass
So
got
motherfucker.
that
drugs.
Yeah.
Wait, can I quote one of my favorite vines?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like this girl, and she's like, okay, wait,
Is that a weed?
no, wait, God, I need to think, I want to set this up, so okay, well, we can do the sketch. Like, she's like at a party, and she's like drinking a drink, and then this owl turns in it, and it's like, drugs, and she's like, what? And then it like opens its wings, and it's like, drugs. She goes, no, thank you. And she goes, I don't know. And it's like, drugs.
Pusher owl.
But it was like, because like the owl had like this, drugs. And it was like,
Was it a real owl?
it was like her and she would like cut to the clip of the real owl, but she was doing the voice.
Oh, okay.
And she would be like, drugs. And she's like, no, thank you. No. And then it like opened its wing, and then she was like, drugs. And she goes, no, who invited? And then she cuts off.
That's
No, I'm
That's like
thinking of...
so that's why I'm always like, drugs.
That just makes me think of What We Do in the Shadows, the drug blood, when they go to the rave. Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
I've seen a few episodes.
but I
of it.
do want to see that. Is that
It's on Hulu.
okay? Like I don't have it. I need to watch
Like
more
the
TV.
drug blood. We tried to bite some ravers and now we're out of our minds.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I see clips of stuff all the time, and I'm like, that looks funny, and I just never watch it.
Absolutely. Bob Harzabishola and What We Do in the Shadows. That's your watch list.
Haven't you also? You've talked about Reservation Dogs before too, right?
Reservation
You've watched
Dogs is
that?
so good.
I think I've watched almost the whole first season.
Oh my god, please.
That's like where I am too now.
Oh my god. I have an affinity for I have a real affinity for indigenous American culture for some reason. I don't know if it's the my culture also had some real shit happen to them, but they made a name for themselves outside of it type of shit. But Reservation Dogs is so good. It really gets in touch with a lot of that. They have a Deer Lady episode. Deer Lady is like an indigenous legend, and it gets really deep. I won't spoil it, but
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about
yourself.
that. Oh, I've heard of the folklore about the Deer Lady, but I can't remember if it was
the Deer Lady
really sad or really good. I feel like it's sad.
In the way that the show sets it up, it's kind of a spoiler, but in the way the show sets it up, it's this indigenous woman who's taken into one of those schools. And she runs away, and a deer appears to her in the woods, and it's a come with me if you want to live situation. So now she venges. She only goes after creepy men, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I
remember.
thought she transformed into a deer or something, and she was
In Reservation Dogs, she's just a lady with hooves.
Yeah. What I love about that show is that it
It's
addresses
a badass motherfucker too.
it addresses past injustices, but also talks about now, the things that still happen today in a way that's maybe more palatable to where it's it's entertainment, but it's if you are actually watching this as this happens to people, it's very interesting to me and kind of educational.
Coming of age aspect of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
The
good show.
Reason why they go on the road trip is really real, and it's great.
Yeah. So one of the things that we had on the table to discuss today, I feel like it's a little bit out of place now, but was
so serious.
Farts.
farts.
We're back.
We were just going to talk about flatulence, a
On the
demonstration.
back and the front.
The back and the front.
Have you ever farted? I remember someone was telling a joke about farting out of your vagina.
Queefs, yeah.
Yeah,
Queefs are a
but
thing.
no, but people were talking about how if you fart out of your butt, it rolls up into and it spits out.
That is an uncomfortable feeling that we don't talk about too much. But yeah.
I
You're
I feel
we'll
like
talk
someone
about
was
it.
Yeah.
someone I think I saw a
Modesty.
video of these girls explaining to a guy that it'll just roll up, and then I was like, that's not real, and I had to think about it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you've definitely had that happen. Yeah.
I haven't
But
had
I don't
it.
know. We're gonna talk
I mean,
about-
imagine burping and then you just burp out your nose.
That happens.
I've done that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and I used to drink
But
pop.
it's your vagina.
I don't
So,
have a vagina.
Do you say
Tristan,
pop as
close
a
your
person
eye.
or soda?
I kind of switch back and forth.
I say soda. I caught myself saying pop the other day, and I was like, why did I just say pop?
Okay.
I say pop if it's almost if I'm around someone who's very Midwest, then I'm like, okay, you're going to be someone who gives me shit if I
You
don't
won't
say
you a
pop.
pop?
Do you...
But if it's someone who's from the East Coast or something, I'll be
Okay.
soda.
This is
Heather's gonna bruise at the seam.
No. This was adjacent to this because I was talking to my boyfriend and he was he had a dream that he got shot and then he goes and then I got in the ambulance.
Ambulance.
And then the ambulance took. He goes, but then I didn't want to pay for the ambulance, so then I was like, what the fuck?
Ambulance.
No, he said ambulance.
What part of the country is he from originally?
He's from here.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like they say that in like the not the South. He's not from the South.
Fucking Pickerington?
Right. I was like, that doesn't sound like, I've never heard an Ohioan say it like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. He's like the ambulance. And I was like, what is
I think that's
I
how
didn't
they
say
it in the
anything
South.
because I didn't
Sounds
want
like a
to.
South thing, yeah.
I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to divorce this early.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, it's
You're like, how can you get divorced if you're not married? Very simple.
You guys are common
because they say
law by now,
ambulance.
right? Something like
Oh,
that.
I don't know if they observe that in Ohio actually, but I think in Texas we would be common law. So it depends on the state you live in that you could actually be considered common law married if you and your partner live together for like a certain amount of years. I think maybe 5.
I think it's 7.
I think so.
I was thinking 5 to 7.
Yeah. I don't know. At that point, it's like a ceremony doesn't really change anything.
Right.
Common law to me makes a lot of
The
sense.
ceremony is just to like
I
show
don't know.
yourself
I think
off.
I don't know if Ohio does that. So I
I'm
don't know.
that
think
type of
so.
person where I don't know if I want a wedding, but I don't want to just like go to the courthouse about it either.
Right.
I want it like either like a micro wedding or like I'm not inviting like my cousin, like my third cousins I had never met.
Right.
My wife and I had a very small wedding, and I thought that like the ceremony was going to like mean something more like mentally or like emotionally, but for me it was like I already
Did you
was.
cry when you saw her in her dress?
Yeah, I did.
Aww.
But I was already committed. So then I was expecting to somehow feel like something had changed like after the wedding, and then like the next day I was like, no, it's kind of just the same.
Just back to it. Yeah.
Basically the same.
That's how I think it's gonna be when I get married. I think I'll be like, oh, this is cool. I don't think it's gonna be like
I have a cool
a
ring
major
about it now.
change. I mean, after you live with someone for almost like basically like 3.5 years or more, like multiple years, you're like, all right, well, I know what to expect. But I think like my biggest difference, and I was talking about this with my younger sister too. I was like, if you're gonna like have a different step in your relationship, something should change. So we're gonna like
Matching tattoos.
Basically, yes, matching tattoos, matching belly button piercings. No,
My wife
Don't
did
get the
that before
name
we
on
got
the
married.
tattoo. Get
Yeah.
like some kind of totem, like get
No.
llamas or something.
I meant like we're gonna like.
Tree, I added to it after the fact, but
Yeah.
the tree, Summer had that. Like we both got it before we were married.
Oh, you guys got matching tattoos?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so sweet.
So she has like the tree with the hands too, but I added a bunch after the
Oh,
fact.
that's sweet.
That's awesome.
I was my point was we're gonna like move to a different apartment or like get like a bigger place and be like, okay, this is the marriage house.
This is the marriage.
This is the
abode.
marriage.
Maybe that was
Or
part
maybe
of
we'll just
it.
get a dog or something. We get a dog. I don't know.
I thought you said get a job. I like heard you wrong.
I have like
It's like you both
I
already
have a
work.
job. Yeah, we both do already work.
Actually, speaking of that, that's a good lead-in. One of the topics that we had written down to talk about was like hobbies and dream jobs, because we haven't talked about that with a guest. Because comedy is sort of like a
It's a
like
hobby.
a dream job or a hobby.
I was gonna say I think
So telling.
we're treating it like a hobby
yeah.
right now, but we're trying to make it maybe
Lucrative.
a career.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a dream job that right now it's like a hobby, because I also kind of
Yeah.
have another dream job too that I'm doing. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been doing your job if I had a, better mental fortitude at that time. But I'm a college dropout. So but
hey,
yeah.
nothing wrong with
But-
that.
There's something wrong.
Comedy is a different form of therapy, so that's why this whole fucking thing exists. So yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I getting defensive?
Hey, listen,
We can do
listen,
what we
comedy's
want,
a-
okay?
I'm a street therapist, okay? I have resting therapist face. I should know, all right? People just come up to me and talk about this shit. Anyway.
I talked about that, how like that was basically what made me go down that career path anyway. Like I was
People
like
just coming up to you?
people would talk to me about things that I was like, why are you, it was like I wouldn't know someone well enough for like what they were sharing. And I was like, I feel like this is like a gift. Or it's like it felt like more
blessing
like
and
a
a
curse at the time.
Can I immediately burst your bubble?
What?
It's because you're homeschooled and you don't know any social boundary skills.
You don't know how to say I need space right now.
you never learned how to just not listen to people because you're just like, oh my god, someone's talking to me. That's not my mom. Oh my god, hi. Oh, what? Your mom did what to you? What? Oh my, oh. And then you just paused out of shock.
I'm very
And then
called
you're
out
like-
right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little, you weren't homeschooled though. What happened? How did that happen to you?
I was just isolated. All right,
Yeah.
that's as much as I could say.
That's
But
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
though.
Yeah. It was to school and then back, and then anywhere else. No.
Because
That was you're fine. I just wanted to bring down Tristan.
I am fine. I am.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
you're okay.
I just wanted to put down Tristan one more time.
Yeah.
Then put down your guest in the process.
So are you saying that your dream job would have been in mental health too?
Like I volunteered on a crisis line for a bit too.
Oh, okay.
But I had to get out of there quick because I didn't know how to like leave it at the office kind of thing. So panic attacks at home or not. Yeah.
Well, and I think,
But
I don't know how much training they did on like vicarious trauma and like burnout and compassion fatigue and all of that, but like it's a real thing.
yeah. I don't remember too much of the primo. Oddly enough, that wasn't the stuff that like made me like have to leave. I just like got partnered up with like a real like misogynist douchebag for like one of the shifts, and I was like, I can't take this. Like he was so perplexed at the thought of like our supervisor went on like a cruise and the captain was female. And my partner for the thing was like, a female boat how does she steer the boat with her titties? How does that work?
Oh my God.
Like he didn't say that, but
like he was literally like a female captain. Like if you're saying like a purple pig.
But women
like,
are smart. Women can't lead. What?
He literally was like, he would literally be like, but like, so if a pig was purple, what would that look like? So if he's like, if a woman was a captain on a boat, what does that look like?
Does she make all of her crewmates wear pink and put on lipstick? Whoa.
Well, like, look at the statistics.
On a cabaret cruise, maybe, but
because so many boat captains are male, then if you look at shipwrecks, it would be like basically like 100% male captains that have been in charge of ships that have wrecked. Like just saying.
Oh yeah, this was like
the Titan submersible sank because he was male.
Yeah, if it had been a woman with that Xbox controller,
she would have women are good with their hands.
She would have gotten all of Sonic's rings, baby.
Oh my God. No, what was I gonna say? I was like, someone was interviewing, like, someone was doing a street interview, and they're like, do you think women should be like world leaders or like presidents or whatever? And they're like, no, women shouldn't even have like the right to vote or something. It was something crazy. I think this was also said by a woman.
Is that like the female Andrew Tate? The like just
no, I think it was like a comedy guy interviewing like kind of like conservative people, maybe at a Trump rally.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And then she was like, I don't think even women should really vote or be leaders. And he goes, well, wouldn't you say most of the wars in history were started by men? And she was like, yes. He goes, okay, thank you. Yep. So like 100% of the war and famine and disease is kind of
It's because men were on their periods.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mom is kind of like that too, where like she's
what?
Like my mom is basically like a sexist towards women.
It's very if you're like raised like like the internal hate. It's very like I used to be like I used to be a person that would be like, I hate pink. Like, because it's such a feminine color. You'd be like, I hate pink. I don't like getting my nails done. I don't like getting my nails done. I'm not girly. And blah, blah, blah. But I was still like, I don't know, whatever, dress feminine enough. But I was like, I'm not a girl's girl. I'm not girly. And I'm not really that much girly, but I'm so much. I mean, I like getting my nails done and I like dressing up. I like makeup. But I was like, I'm not a girl's. I'm wearing pink right now. I mean,
but I don't think I don't think that led to you thinking that women were less. It was like an expression thing.
I mean, I don't think. But it's like a part of it. It's like a part of it. Mm-hmm. It's like a part of it. Because it could extend to like, well, I'm not like other women. I don't dress and I'm not an airhead and I don't wear pink. And obviously, I mean, I should be able to do what I want because I know I'm smarter than the average woman, but other women shouldn't be able to do what they want.
Interesting.
That's
I kind of feel like that towards men, so yeah.
I think I had a phase like that too. Like I call myself queer and they, them, and I try to like intellectualize it and like spiritualize it by being like, I am everything and nothing. We're all just star stuff and electric jello. We don't have to worry about all these blah, blah, blah. Like I will not wear pink or skirts, but I was like, I had to like sit with myself like earlier this year. Like, you can try it. You're not gonna like go against yourself by wearing like flower print or whatever. Like,
yeah. You know what that was for me was I was kind of like going back and forth on like I've always dressed like super colorful and things like that and whatever. And then recently I had that whole situation with my car and I had to start driving around my dad's truck and I was like, I'm okay with this.
That is a big beefer of a truck too.
It's like I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this toxic masculinity.
I don't think it's toxic.
It's just adding to your mask, I
don't think it's toxic. Like, because like my thing is like it's about like function. So like if you are like a construction worker, like you're a person that moves things, and you're like a garden, whatever, like you need a truck to do your job. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, if you just have a truck because you wanted a truck and it serves
you did
basically
something with the truck.
No
you went to Home
purpose.
Depot that one time.
I did. That's a move. Let me tell you, there's to build like the set that we're gonna have, but the rolling up to Home Depot in a big ass pickup truck is like such a move. I don't know.
is
Like,
here.
yeah, it like I recommend that if you want to feel like just a badass, roll up to a hardware store and a pickup truck. It's like it does something to you.
Like can you like do you know they have like that sound and it's like a hammer hitting a nail and like
Yes.
the
Yep.
So gender affirming.
Do and like that song
Yep.
would just be playing.
That was me. It was like the most like masculine, gender affirming thing I've ever done.
Gender affirming.
But yeah,
We were talking about hobbies and stuff. I like The Sims. The Sims is how I got a lot of my sad out. Not even just the sad. Like, I have a lot of, like, stories and characters in my brain already. So I have, like, at least, like, 6, like, storylines that I've, like, completed at least to fruition that I'm very proud of.
The Sims would be like the ultimate play therapy.
Ultimate what?
Ultimate play therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're creating this whole little
Playing
world.
God and
Yeah.
making interactions go the way you want them to for once in your life.
To be
And,
honest,
you know, you have
I
friends and
was
a
kind of
job.
scared of sim players for a while.
That tracks.
Because like I didn't really play video games. I was more of like I watched TV and like read books and read fan fiction. That's a different. We could do a whole entire Heather's fan fiction arc. But anyway, so like
Tom and
I knew
Jerry.
I had these like some people I knew in high school, and they're like, yeah, I played The Sims, and I was like, oh, like what do you do with what do you make them do? They're like, oh, I put them in the pool, then I take away the ladder, and I watch them drown, and they lasted 2 days. And I was like, you did what? They're like, I put them in the pool and I took away the ladder. I'm like, no, but like you watched how long it would take them to die, and they're like, yeah, and then I like threw in like a thing so they would live a little longer, and I took it away, and you're like, oh. And then I murdered the other one, and then that happened. I was like,
I mean,
like trying to leave, and you just
Have you ever heard the song? The artist is Koruk, but it's I think it's called The Sims, and it's all about that. It's all about like taking out like aggression like on The Sims. It's like and like if my girlfriend annoys me, like I'll like throw her in the pool and take out the ladder, and it's like, and then like, but if I regret it, I'll like click undo and get her back or something like that.
yeah.
I've definitely fed a couple people to cow plants, you know, had a mermaid drown them, you know.
Yeah.
You get a special mod, you can make them drink Coca-Cola until things happen. So yeah, it's great.
I mean, I feel like I say that and I judge people, but I feel like they said that was like it made it sound like that was all that they were doing. But if I had The Sims, I probably would kill at least a few of them.
You have to.
I like I've dabbled with like building and stuff. Like when my sim like moved into a new apartment, I made a whole like I spent a good amount of time like revamping that to like how I'd want it to be and stuff. But yeah, just outside of like I said, I like the story. Like my character is like an actor and stuff, and they're like going through all these stuff, and they just got back from what's essentially Latin America and stuff, and got a boyfriend out of it. So like
Muy caliente.
I have like one story that like I made the character and like I completed it, and I was like, what's wrong with me that I did that? Like
It's just
Oh, you can complete the story in Sims?
like if you have like an idea for like a character or something, you like write it out, and you draw it out.
Okay,
because
because I thought you could just like keep playing them or something.
Oh yeah. Like it didn't like end, but like it got to a stopping point.
And
So,
I think
like-
you can, because you can make like so many different ones. It's like you can take one character and like really put them through kind of things. It really is like playing God.
Yeah,
where you can like pick your one like whipping boy.
We were talking about, we mentioned the submersible earlier. Like I did have a ship captain at one point, like
Male or female?
male, Admiral Haversham,
Of course.
and his wife Amelia Haversham. So he was like a sea captain, and like his wife was always like, "Oh, can I please come out to one of your journeys? It sounds so lovely from what you tell me." And he was like, "No, lady, it'll never happen. I have to keep you safe." He was like, "Please," and then so they went, and then they got crash landed on what's essentially Hawaii, a Polynesian island.
Yeah.
Jay gets nerded out, and yeah, they like, shipwrecked, and he was like, "Oh, I knew this was gonna happen," and she's like, "It's okay, we'll make it work and whatever." And then so like he was trying to like go off and like collect material, and she was trying to make a fire so they could make food, and then she burnt up in the fire they made to make the food. And they have ghosts on The Sims.
Yeah.
So it was this big like Like
Did
it
her
was
ghost like sail around with him?
like she like came back and like, oh, it's okay that I died. You can go on without me and get rescued and everything. It's fine. I love you and blah, blah, blah. And then he just ends up going like crazy from like sea madness, and yeah, anybody who tries to like help him on the island, he like shoos away. It's great.
Such a toxic
Did
relationship.
she like was she stranded on the? I thought the ghosts could move place to place. So was she stranded on the island?
Well, if we're going by the lore that you kind of have to stay where you die, then yeah, she's like, I guess she'd be locked on the island with him and stuff. But yeah.
Well, and it sounds like
And then,
she would
like,
choose
after
to
the-
stay on the island because like
I know
that's
the-
where her
Oh,
name
yeah,
is.
no, I forgot. Like, so yeah, that happened, and like the consoling happened, and then like they went around the island, like him and her ghost and whatever, and they went to the waterfall, and they did what's called woohoo in The Sims, which is get down. And then like they went to sleep, and then he woke up and she wasn't there, so I guess she like found peace and like moved on and stuff, and then he went
Oh.
crazy. So yeah.
Can they have ghost babies?
I have yet to find that out.
I know people were like making aliens.
Like, yeah, there are aliens, there are werewolves, vampires, but yeah. And then, like, after the fact, I, like, made their kids, and I made some kind of, like, familial storyline where, like, the oldest daughter of every generation, like, goes out that same way, and I haven't brought myself to do that yet, because, I haven't fallen that
They
far. off the deep
die
end,
in a
but,
tragic
yeah.
sea accident.
In a fire or something. I don't know. Yeah. So that I guess that's my taking the pool ladder out on the grand scale.
It's like multi-generational trauma. Like,
I'm fine. But yeah, like my my actor sim is my main like storyline and stuff, and yeah. Like there was like one group I was in, I made sim characters for them, or like I'll post to my page like, hey, give me a name and a color and I'll make a sim for you. So yeah.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious if people made Sims of us.
Yeah, and then they were on a podcast. And they did comedy.
Jay, do not.
May I?
No.
You should.
No, because there
I need
was
whole
like
group consent to do that.
there was like the Try Guys, and they had people make them Sims, and then they were making all the Sims fuck each other.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Try Guys.
Yeah. I would wish to be as popular as them.
One day.
One day, but somebody just needs to like maybe not cheat on their wife.
I don't think we have a Ned.
Y'all looking at me like...
Hey, make
As
it.
the chronically single one, I don't think I'm, in line for that. So.
No.
I don't know enough about the Try Guys. I was going to try to assign us all a person.
Oh,
I'm Zach.
You don't know any. Oh, the person from the Try Guys.
Yeah, I don't
You.
know. I know
I
like
could see
that
Peter
story.
being. You would be no, because he's not that like. Maybe you are cute because you are very attention seeking.
Well, I
feel
mean,
like
if
you would be like
before we knew
Eugene.
what we knew about Ned, you could be Ned, but not now.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like it's either like
Pre-cheating Ned.
you're Zach, or I feel like
Am I Zach because
Peter.
I'm queer?
No, because Peter.
Am I Zach because I'm
Zach's not
racially?
queer.
Am I
Yeah.
Eugene? Because
No, I was
I'm,
gonna say you might be Eugene because you might have. I don't know, because I feel like Peter is a little more Zach energy. If you think
Okay.
about it, but then I was like, maybe we're both.
No,
a
I'm
mix.
Quasi. I have to be Quasi.
Oh, you can't. You can be Quasi if you want to be. I don't know who I would be. I don't think. Maybe I'm more like Ned because I'm like, what's up, bro? Maybe I'm more like Ned because
Yeah,
I
you can
still say
I'm
pre-cheating
definitely not a Keith.
I
I
could never be Keith.
yeah.
Like I am a theater kid energy, but pulling off a
Like
Broadway
Keith
show
is like ultimate
that's
theater
it.
kid energy.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of
And
us
he's in a
are.
band.
I feel like we're all like I feel like we're not like a distinct.
I think we're all either like Zach or Eugene or
like a mixture of both. Yeah.
Because we're our own people.
our own people,
Oh, maybe we should try
our
to.
own brand.
Maybe we should try to make you more like Eugene.
Is
We
Eugene
can
the
get more
one that
hits.
is
He's
very
the
like
hot Asian one
flamboyant?
that came out.
He's
Yeah,
a hot
okay.
Asian one. Yeah.
I could do that. I could wear like the like purple flowy,
I could do your makeup.
wear some makeup,
No, you have to get more attitude. More like.
sass.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
if I
right.
can do
You're
that.
wrong. Shut up.
Like you don't look really good. That's not your color. Maybe.
Oh, if you mean critical, I can be critical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like you need to be like critical with the attitude, and you also have to have really good like
I'm like-
eyeliner.
And make a
I'm
ton
like
of sex
blunt
jokes.
critical.
He does
A ton
make
of gay
lot,
sex jokes,
A
yeah.
lot of gay sex jokes.
His without a recipes are always chaotic, and I love
Yeah.
them.
He made balls out of balls. Oh my god.
The boobay ice cream.
Oh, but the booby ice cream.
We should do like a cooking episode. Should be like a recipe, and it's like something really.
Do you know that's like
basic.
actually like literally one of my dreams?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. You used to basically.
You want to
do
be
that.
Rosanna Pansino?
I want to be Rosanna Pansino
that
so bad because I always wanted to be on a cooking show and then just tell dick jokes. Like what the Try Guys do, they literally just make stupid jokes all the time, and then they make horrible pies. But I was like, but I would actually be good and make a
You're
good.
like, I'd make good pies.
Yeah, exactly.
And better dick jokes.
A lot of cream pies.
A lot of cream.
I thought about like being a hair YouTuber for a minute because this is a lot of work just to get it such a way, but you know, and like at least like being the like give back portion of it, showing how people with limb differences can do it or whatever. Because I follow a lot of like limb difference people on like TikTok and stuff, like 2-fingered T-Rex, like showing how like you do like everyday things and stuff. Like that'd be cool. Like I remember I posted a video of like. Or I posted a picture of like me like doing cornrows on a mannequin and whatever, and someone like was fully like, "Oh, that's cool. It must be harder with less fingers." And I was like, "Yeah, it is. I did this and blah, blah, blah," instead of being like, "What the fuck did you just say?" But yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta kill them with kindness.
Okay, can we please do like a whole entire cooking?
I think we should.
I would. Do you know how I would literally die happy?
I think once we start,
we did that.
Absolutely.
we should start expanding into different content.
I'm not kidding. Like, cause like the Try Guys, their most popular thing is what's it called again? Fuck.
Without a recipe.
Without a recipe.
Yeah.
I've watched all of those episodes at least 5 times each.
Yeah.
Because I would watch it when I would usually like watch or listen to it when I'm making dinner, and I would hear them be like, "Oh no, the pie isn't cooked. Oh no!"
The part where Keith like put the ice cream directly in the ice cream machine without the bucket.
Yeah, and he's just like they're like yelling and screaming about it because Keith is
stuff.
really competitive and he always wants to win, and he literally, I created this whole entire thing so I could win, and he like lost like 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
But like I would listen to it and I'd be baking something delicious. I'd be like, this makes me feel so good about myself.
We definitely
Just
should
listening to
branch
their
out.
misery.
We should branch out into different content.
Do you guys know?
When I tell you, literally will like lick someone's foot if I could do it.
Do you guys?
You have like a foot thing lately.
do.
I don't know.
Give me your foot.
The
Do you guys know Brian David Gilbert?
Oh God.
That sounds familiar.
He's a YouTuber, a quirky little guy who does a lot of.
Brian.
He made like unique ice cream flavors like Old Bay ice cream.
Oh.
He did a like pepcorn spicy pot. He's so lovely, and like his editing style is great. He's musical too. He has a lot of music videos. I needed a chance to like shout him out because he's
I also love
boy.
Johnny Cakes.
Johnny Cakes.
Johnny
is great.
Cakes. They like did another thing where they had like they would have a chef in the other room, and like they would have to call the person, and then they would tell them, okay, and now make creme brulee, and they're like, what the fuck's a creme brulee? And they just film the whole entire thing, and then you can see like just like Johnny Cakes get like angrier and more aggravated, and he's like a very like, okay, now you're gonna do this, and he's like very like you, but like a little more flamboyant.
Okay.
Basically like a better person.
A better version of me. No, when you were talking about like the hair tutorials, I thought about doing that for a while, but specifically for like dads with daughters. Like how to do
I
your
thought you
daughter's
meant
hair.
doing hair tutorials for dads.
Oh yeah.
You're like,
so take it.
All right, we gotta take her to soccer practice in 15 minutes.
And
So just
brush
get the
it.
gel and just slap it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've
literally
taught myself how to
absolutely
do a really good ponytail. I can sort of do braids, like things like that, to where it's like a lot of dads wouldn't know how to do that. But I like, since my hair was longer for a little while, I like practiced on myself, and then I would practice it on her, and then kind of figured it out from there.
Oh, sweet. I think you should try to take a video and you just like put the vacuum to her head to make
I
a
was thinking
ponytail.
that.
Oh yeah. I've never tried that.
Get a sponsorship with Revair.
Yeah.
That's an actual like hair vacuum, which is
Oh, it's a hair vacuum?
concept. It's like a reverse blow dryer. You like stick your hair in the thing, and it's supposed to like for black women especially, like you stick it in the thing and it like blows it out.
I thought so it's not like the Dyson Airwrap that everyone's obsessed with? No? Yeah, everyone's obsessed.
Yeah, I don't know anything about.
It's like a $600 blow dryer.
Is it like a diffuser? Is that what?
It's basically
No,
like
it's
a
a-
thing that like dries and like curls your hair at the same time.
It's like windy. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're gonna recreate YouTube shit, we should do Hot Ones. I've always wanted to do a Hot Ones for my birthday, but I haven't had the chance.
Oh yeah.
Hot Ones is fun.
I would just be crying the whole
like
time.
that's good to
After-
get your rage out is watching Hot Ones.
Yeah.
It's like, look
Yeah.
at these guys.
I've heard that. I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
Just these guys going on with such bravado, like, oh, these wings ain't shit, they're not as hot and whatever, and then they get to like the 5th wing and they're like, oh my god, I can't.
Like watching like men cry is like,
But then I love you have someone like, didn't Jenna Ortega went on there, and every single one she was like, whatever.
Yeah.
but those are like the ones you're like, where you're like, you didn't know you could get like necessarily impressed or like turned on by someone not crying from hot wings. You're like,
I'm
she can
talking
handle
about
herself in a situation.
Yeah.
Not like in a sexual situation. I mean, like if there was pressure, she could handle herself. Like if someone's robbing a bank,
She doesn't mind if it's spicy.
she's like, if someone is robbing a bank,
She's like, hey, stop that.
Jenna Ortega's there. She'd just be like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. I don't know if I equate eating a chicken wing to like being in a bank robbery, but I see what you're
no,
talking
like she
about.
can
Well,
handle
when you
the
eat
stress.
hot food, yeah, it's
She
like
can handle
sensory
the stress
seeking.
of the like, so like she's in line to like get out her millions of dollars, and then like somebody's like, give me all your money, and she'd just be like, really? Like what?
Lame.
It's a Tuesday.
No, I'm not going to.
She's like, you're doing this on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Is everything
Before my
okay? Do you want to talk
daughter's
about
wedding? I don't know.
it? Ooh, that makes me think of Righteous Gemstones. There's like bank robbery related in that. Have you guys seen that?
I have not.
For you guys, for religious people, you should. I mean, what am I trying to say?
I'm
The
not.
religious trauma.
Religious trauma.
I
You
don't
brought it
have
up.
any
Yeah,
religious trauma. Shout out to Pastor Paul.
But it's great.
I think he's dead though. So, shout out to Pastor Paul.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, like people who eat hot food, it's the same.
No one reacted to me pointing up. He was like, okay, Heather.
I mean, it's the same thing as like going on roller coasters or like skydiving. You're eating like a hot shit that can really like fuck your shit up internally. And you're like, oh, this is amazing. Give me another. Like,
I mean, it is
called
like
pepper klaus, chili klaus.
the whole reason for spicy foods is basically it's warning you that like it's gonna wreck you. So yeah, I can see it.
Well, this has been Comedic Behavior Therapy. I'm Heather Scott.
I'm Tristan Shae,
I'm Jaclyn Hughes.
and we will
Be back.
be back. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye. So long, farewell, Arvita saying fuck off.
Oh. I thought we were doing the
got
right
him.
one.
I thought we were doing like a nice person. Are you just saying fuck off? I'm gonna remember that.
Arvita saying fuck off.
Oh, because I said I look like the sound of
Julie
music.
Andrews, yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
That's why I did that. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay.